Many women have been taught to hide vaginal odor with sprays, powders, or special washes. But what if I told you that much of what we've been told about odor is misleading? I have seen women go from years of quiet embarrassment, worrying about what their partners might think, avoiding intimacy, even hesitating to bring it up with their doctors, to finally feeling comfortable and confident again, once they understood the real reasons behind the changes in their bodies. And that's exactly what we are uncovering today: the shocking mistakes many women make after 60 when it comes to vaginal odor and how to stay fresh safely. Welcome back to the Female Health Hub, where we combine science so often based on male bodies with homemade remedies and the lived experience of women like you and me. I'm Lia Parker, and I've spent over 30 years working with women in different stages of life, listening to their concerns and helping them navigate changes that too often go unspoken. Today, we are exploring what causes vaginal odor after 60, why it changes in this stage of life, and most importantly, what you can do about it without shame, fear, or risky quick fixes. Because according to a study published in the Journal of Menopausal Medicine, changes in estrogen after menopause directly affect the delicate balance of bacteria in the vagina, and this is one of the key reasons odor can shift with age. Once we understand that, we can respond with wisdom instead of worry. When we are younger, vaginal odor is mostly shaped by things like our monthly cycle, pregnancy, or even the foods we eat. But after 60, the story shifts, because the body itself is different. One of the biggest changes is estrogen. During and after menopause, estrogen levels fall, and that hormone is what used to keep the vaginal tissues thick, elastic, and well lubricated. Without as much estrogen, those tissues become thinner, drier, and more fragile. And this does not just affect comfort during intimacy, it also affects odor. You see, the healthy vagina has always relied on good bacteria, especially something called lactobacilli, to keep its environment slightly acidic. That gentle acidity is what holds odor in balance and stops the overgrowth of harmful bacteria. But with less estrogen, the number of lactobacilli naturally declines. This means the vaginal pH creeps upward, it becomes less acidic, more neutral, and that is when new odors can appear. For some women, the change is subtle, a slight mustiness, or an earthier scent that wasn't there before. For others, the change can feel dramatic, stronger smells, new irritation, or discharge that feels different. And because it often happens slowly over time, many women shrug it off or assume it is just part of getting older. But here is something important. Vaginal odor after 60 is not only about estrogen. Other parts of life play into it too. Some women notice odor changes after certain medications, like antibiotics or hormone-blocking drugs for breast cancer. Others find it worsens if they wear tight synthetic underwear or if bladder leaks leave moisture against the skin. Even something as simple as sitting for long hours in warm clothing can make the groin area sweat more, and sweat mixing with bacteria creates its own scent. So while it is true that aging and hormone changes are at the heart of the story, lifestyle, health conditions, and even stress can all influence how your body smells now compared to 10 or 20 years ago. And here is the key message: these changes are normal, but they are not something you have to suffer through in silence. Once you understand why vaginal odor is different after 60, you can choose responses that actually support your health, instead of the quick fix mistakes that so many women unknowingly fall into. Now that we understand why vaginal odor can change after 60, let us talk about the mistakes many women make when trying to deal with it. And I promise you, if you have made some of these mistakes yourself, you are not alone. I have seen them again and again, even among the most careful, health-conscious women. The first mistake is douching. For decades, companies have marketed douches as the answer to freshness, but the truth is, they do more harm than good. The vagina is a self-cleaning organ. It already has the perfect system to keep itself balanced. Washing it out with perfumes or chemicals strips away the good bacteria and makes it easier for infections and stronger odors to develop. The second mistake is relying on scented sprays, powders, or special washes. I cannot tell you how many women I have met who feel embarrassed about odor and reach for these products, believing they are doing the right thing. In reality, these products only cover up the odor for a short time, while quietly disturbing the natural pH of the vagina. Over time, that irritation can actually worsen the smell, leaving women trapped in a frustrating cycle. The third mistake is ignoring odor altogether. Many women after 60 assume that changes in smell are just part of aging, and while some shifts are indeed natural, a sudden or strong odor, especially if it comes with discharge, itching, or burning, can be a sign of an infection or other condition that needs attention. Brushing it aside out of embarrassment or fear often leads to bigger problems later. Another common mistake is turning to home remedies that spread quickly on the internet or through word of mouth. Garlic cloves, apple cider vinegar baths, herbal pearls, even eating large amounts of pineapple. These might sound harmless, but they are not supported by science and can sometimes be dangerous. I have seen women arrive at the clinic with painful burns or persistent infections after trying these tricks. The truth is, if a remedy sounds too simple or too magical, it probably is. And finally, one mistake that deserves to be named is silence. So many women live with odor worries in secret, never speaking to their doctors, partners, or even close friends. The shame around this topic runs deep, but staying silent robs you of the chance to find safe, effective solutions. Here is the good news: each of these mistakes comes from the same place, a desire to feel clean, healthy, and confident. And once you learn what truly supports your body, you can let go of the fear and the quick fixes, and instead choose approaches that actually work. One of the most important steps in finding peace with your body is learning the difference between what is normal and what might be a sign to seek help. Because the truth is, not every odor is a problem. Some are simply a reflection of your body's natural chemistry. Let me share a story. A woman once came to me, worried that her vagina had started to smell different after menopause. She described it as a faint, sour or tangy scent that was new to her. She had tried showering more often, switching underwear brands, and even stopped eating certain foods, hoping it would help. But the smell remained. When I explained to her that this was the normal acidic odor, created by healthy bacteria protecting her vagina, she burst into tears of relief. All that stress, all that second guessing, and it turned out to be a sign that her body was actually working the way it should. This is what I want you to know: a light, slightly musty, tangy, or even earthy scent can all be normal. Sweat around the groin, small bladder leaks, or simply sitting too long in warm clothes can create a mild odor, and that does not mean something is wrong. But there are times when odor is a red flag. If the smell is strong, fishy, or rotten, or if it comes with discharge that is green, gray, or unusually thick, that is your body telling you it needs attention. If odor comes with itching, burning, or pain during intimacy, that too is a signal to see your doctor. Infections like bacterial vaginosis, trichomonas, or yeast can all cause changes in odor, and while they are uncomfortable, they are also treatable once properly diagnosed. Another story comes to mind. A woman in her 70s once visited me after months of worrying about what she described as a metallic scent. She was embarrassed and thought it was just another burden of aging, but on examination we discovered that tiny tears in her dry vaginal tissue were causing small amounts of bleeding. That blood, mixed with her natural secretions, created the metallic smell. With the right treatment to restore moisture and heal her tissues, the odor disappeared, and so did her embarrassment. So here is the truth: odor itself is not the enemy. It is a message. Sometimes it is telling you everything is balanced and healthy. Other times it is warning you that something has shifted and needs care. The real challenge is learning to listen with curiosity instead of shame. When you do, you move from fear into wisdom. Now that we know the difference between normal and abnormal odors, let us talk about what truly helps you feel fresh and comfortable after 60, without harsh chemicals or risky quick fixes. The first and most powerful step is moisture. After menopause, when estrogen levels fall, the tissues of the vagina and vulva become thinner and drier. This dryness is one of the biggest reasons odor changes, because it disrupts the balance of good bacteria. Using a safe vaginal moisturizer, or if recommended by your doctor, low-dose vaginal estrogen, can restore that balance and reduce unwanted odor. I have seen women completely transform their comfort and confidence with this one change alone. The second step is choosing breathable clothing, cotton underwear, loose skirts or trousers, and avoiding long stretches in tight synthetic fabrics can make a big difference. Sweat and trapped moisture create a breeding ground for bacteria, so giving the area a chance to breathe helps your body stay naturally balanced. Another gentle solution is rethinking hygiene. So many women overwash, scrubbing with soaps or using scented wipes in an effort to feel clean, but the vagina cleans itself. All it needs is mild, unscented soap and warm water on the outside only. The less you interfere, the healthier the internal balance will stay. Hydration also matters. It may sound simple, but drinking enough water supports your body's ability to flush out waste products and maintain healthy tissues. Dehydration can make vaginal dryness worse, and dryness, as we now know, can intensify odor. Pelvic health is another piece of the puzzle. Bladder leaks, which are very common after 60, can leave urine sitting against the skin and underwear, creating a chemical or bleach-like smell. Simple strategies like using pads designed for leaks instead of regular panty liners, or doing pelvic floor exercises, can reduce leaks and with them the odor. And perhaps the most important solution of all is this: see your doctor when something feels off. I know it can feel uncomfortable to bring up vaginal odor in the clinic, but remember, your doctor has heard it all before. Getting the right diagnosis means you can stop guessing, stop trying random remedies, and start feeling like yourself again. The key is not about forcing your body to smell like roses or perfume. It is about supporting its natural balance so that you feel fresh, comfortable, and confident in your own skin. Over the years, I have sat with so many women who carried quiet shame about this issue. Some had lived with it for decades, never telling a soul. Others had tried every spray, powder, and home remedy they could find, only to feel more frustrated and defeated. I remember one woman in her mid-60s who told me she had stopped going to church events because she was convinced others could smell her. She carried mints in her purse and dabbed perfume on her wrist to mask her anxiety, but still she avoided hugs and closeness. When we finally talked openly, we discovered she had bacterial vaginosis, something simple to treat. Within weeks, the odor was gone, and she was back to her warm social self. She later told me, "Lia, I wasted years hiding, when all I needed was to ask for help." Another woman in her 70s broke down in tears as she explained that she no longer allowed her husband to touch her. She loved him dearly, but she was so self-conscious about the changes in her body that she pulled away from intimacy. Together we worked on gentle vaginal moisturizers and local estrogen treatment. Slowly her tissues healed, the odor calmed, and she regained her confidence. Months later she smiled and said, "I feel like a wife again, not just a patient." These stories remind me, and I hope remind you, that you are not alone. Every woman's journey is different, but the feelings of embarrassment, isolation, and worry are shared by many. And the truth is, there are safe, effective ways to address these changes. The most powerful shift happens not just in the body but in the heart. When a woman realizes that vaginal odor is not a sign of dirtiness but a message from her body, she moves from shame to self-respect. And that change, my friend, is as important as any treatment. So if you have noticed changes in your body, if odor has left you feeling embarrassed, uncertain, or even isolated, please remember this: you are not alone, and you do not need to suffer in silence. Vaginal odor after 60 is common, it has clear reasons, and most importantly, it has gentle, safe solutions. What I want for you is freedom. Freedom from the sprays and powders that never truly help, freedom from the myths and quick fixes that only bring disappointment, and freedom from the shame that keeps too many women quiet. Here in this community we speak openly about the parts of health that others often whisper about, because every woman deserves to feel clean, comfortable, and confident in her own body, no matter her age. So I invite you, share your story in the comments below. Tell me what you have experienced, what has helped you, or even what you still worry about. When you speak, you are not just helping yourself, you are giving courage to another woman who may still be holding her questions inside. And if you found this conversation valuable, I would love for you to join us each week here at the Female Health Hub, where we keep uncovering the truths about women's bodies that too often go unspoken. Together, let's keep learning, supporting, and reminding one another our bodies are wise, our experiences matter, and we are never too old to feel fresh, vibrant, and at home in ourselves.